BeTerrific, official coverage of CES 2017.
Welcome back to BeTerrific's continuing coverage of CES 2017. For those who were with us 5 minutes ago, Michael was stolen. They took him to an undisclosed location.
He's being waterboarded as we speak.
So it's just Eric, Fletcher, and I here live on set. As Eric, you got in yesterday.
Yep.
So you were here for day one.
Day one.
And we're going to talk some tech now. So
right.
first of all, what have you seen that you like? Has anything surprised? Not much surprises you. That's the problem.
Not much surprises me. I mean, yesterday we were over at the Sands most of the day looking at the home automation and 3D
That's where
printer
Andrea
space
is today now, moving around.
It's kind of funny. I looked at the video. I'm like, wait, I'm in Central. Andrea's in North?
Well, that's what we do on the BeTerrific set.
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
very meta.
None of us are ever in one place.
Like mind manipulation, sound, time.
So
all
it's
that
very
stuff.
odd when you see all of us on one stage.
Exactly.
That's the point that ISIS needs to make their hit.
Do the world a favor.
New technology. A couple of companies are now doing consumer-based sintered metal laser printers. It's $100,000, but now you can buy that technology, which up until about 5 years ago, only people like Boeing had. And they're building production-ready parts, 3D printing them, not even machining. So it's kind of crazy.
It gives the small companies an opportunity to kind of get in the game.
It allows rapid prototyping to happen. So I think with that, we're going to start seeing an acceleration of more innovative product, because now electronics are getting smaller. That problem's been taken care of, but the problem of machining the housing and the part hasn't really been around, and it looks like 3D printing is actually maturing both in the filament deposit range, which is additive printing, and now the sintered metal.
And of course, on the consumer level, you have stuff like the 3Doodler, and I saw a bunch of copies in the Chinese pavilion. Just draw in the middle of the air, make some stuff.
And that's the interesting thing. You go to the Chinese pavilion and you see everything that was new last
year. Here, we talked about that.
And it's they cruise through it. And it's very interesting because it does start driving innovation, because now the market's getting saturated with all the new stuff.
Yeah, you wonder if it's good or bad, because a lot of the stuff you say, oh, well, it's a copy of this, but it's not as good, so are you sacrificing quality, or is the quality really just as good?
Well, I don't think it has an issue to do with the quality as you and I would use it. I think it has to do with now it gets to a price point that you can introduce it to a third world. So you expand the user base, and you bring places that don't have a lot of technology, you start bringing them into the 21st century technology fold, and you start giving that advantage to people. There's a couple things. We saw hydroponic gardening, where people are basically able to set up their own gardens. There was one company that's doing hydroponically grown hops that then you brew your own beer with. So it's an end-to-end thing.
Cool.
Basically, you grow it, you brew it, you drink it, and they had water purifiers. So figure out what they were doing with it. Yeah. So
it's funny. I bought this product called a BioPod,
right,
which is also like in that biotech space on Indiegogo, but they also did a Kickstarter about a year ago, and you can have your own ecosystem right on your desk.
Yep.
Fully controlled by an app.
Yep.
The version that I bought has a tetrarium on the bottom, so you got the fish on the bottom.
Yep.
You can put frogs on top.
Yep.
It's fully living ecosystem, has a camera built in, controlled by Wi-Fi.
When it becomes a little monolith in it and sentient beings, that's when you start to worry.
So that's really cool. They've had some shipping issues, and the quality's big for them. So in Europe, just getting some certifications and whatever. But that should be arriving hopefully.
Well, and it's interesting how you're seeing the Kickstarter and Indiegogo space starting to get populated.
We talked about that.
We talked about that for a split second, where now you have established corporations building established gear going, hey, we're going to do the next generation of our gear, but in order to test the market, or maybe we don't trust the product enough, or we just don't want to invest our own money, they're reaching out and going to the crowd venture. So is Kickstarter starting to invade the VC space?
It's interesting because that crosses over into different ventures, I guess. When we did our film and kickstarted it, we had that mentality of not even from a money. Well, we had no money, obviously.
Right.
But more than that, it was, do people want to see this?
Right.
And that was sort of the big
So by doing that, you're
30,000-foot question.
validating
Exactly.
to a distributor that you
it's
have some legs,
a viable
and you're
content.
baking in a minimum core group of people who are
Right.
going to watch it.
So when Kickstarter started, you thought of it as sort of this guy in his garage product website. That's where you got stuff from the inventor that had no money, who was able to prototype and stuff. Then it flips, becomes a huge platform for creative projects. And now it's exactly where you said. It's come full circle where you have big corporations, or even the films when Veronica Mars did a Kickstarter, and that got a lot of flack because it's like, hey, you know, you're Hollywood. Use your own money, make a film. And it crosses over. Another crossover thing that I've noticed is you have companies, and I think the Theta was the first product where I really saw this, where companies that have never been in a space before have now jumped into a space. Ricoh made a 360 camera. Ricoh, what? I mean, they make copiers.
Right.
They made at a time where there were not any reasonably priced, decent quality 360 cameras at 300. I guess it was 350. They had it in everybody's hand, and then they stopped developing.
Well,
everybody's kind of
let's talk about the bombshell. Swedish camera maker Hasselblad, known for the finest cameras that walked on the moon.
Right.
It was just announced that the deal that was started in 2015 finalized, where DJI Innovations now owns Hasselblad. And yeah, we're seeing the carryover in the new X4 and X5S cameras from DJI, and some smartness in signal flow and all that. But that was a Chinese manufacturer that knew nothing about the camera space, and now they own the preeminent camera manufacturer.
Well, which is interesting because Hasselblad, they were big in their medium format cameras. They could have gone the way of the dinosaur numerous times over the last 20 years, I guess.
Well, they've had 10 owners in the last 12 years.
So, right,
So,
as digital,
so
as
it's
digital
a company
got
that
big
was looking for a place. But the fact is this was
and I
the
think,
company.
Make no mistake, DJI is a camera company as much as they're a drone company. Because every
and now
single
with this
one
purchase, they are.
Well, now they're a
company.
good camera company.
Well, now they're going to be.
Right, but
and that was the argument.
You know, as drones have become more popular and you can get them on the shelves, I mean, you can buy a drone anywhere from Toys R Us to Target to the Apple Store to wherever.
Yep.
Everyone carries drones. You weren't buying a DJI product unless, and I mean, I could be wrong, and there were some agricultural applications and stuff like that with the M series, but you were using the camera on your DJI product, and you were buying it for that purpose.
Well,
you were filming something or shooting images.
But the original DJIs were built on the GoPro concept of the narcissistic individual who wants to shoot themselves doing a great kickflip on their skateboard.
Right. Well, and then I think, you know, it got so big that you had these two giants, and DJI at some point had to say, we're not pushing GoPro anymore.
Exactly.
And
we got to look at where GoPro is today.
Exactly. I mean, listen.
Almost, I think they're around $8.90 a share today.
They took a leap. They took a gamble. They said, all right, if we're going to get pushed out of DJI's drone market, we're going to get into the drone market. And they made a product that I can't think of a company that big making a product that failed that badly in recent times.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
The Karma was the biggest piece of crap.
And all 2,400 have been recalled.
Right. I mean, there was nothing good about it. Eric, we'll be back with more.
Yeah.
I love talking to you.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than Eric Fletcher on set as we roll on live above Central Hall at CES 2017. We'll be right back with DJ Clue of Hot 97.
Awesome.
And Power 105 right after these messages.
BeTerrific, official coverage of CES 2017.